Mellow greetings to beings, RononTyr here, and let's fanfic Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town. Summer 17, Year 1, Thursday. Sunny. It was a lovely quiet day today, journal, which after the excitement of the last week or so, I sorely needed. I'm gonna own that. There were no random intimate encounters. There were no family arguments to settle. There was just me, 20 billion crops to water, 4 chickens to tend to, and an adorable little horse who comes when I whistle. I've noticed that Chickadee and Lewis have started laying larger eggs. I don't know if that's because they like me, or I don't know, maybe they've just gained weight, so they're making heavier eggs. Maybe I should feed them less. No idea. I have both onions and tomatoes up today, so it'll be a good little bit of cash once that ticks into my account overnight, which is fantastic. Rain is doing well, as ever. The pineapples look pineapple-y, but they're all green, so I don't think they're edible. Pretty much my entire day was spent on crops. That was really about it. It took me until like 3 o'clock to finish up with that. I did run up to the store after I'd gotten all the crops watered and harvested. Well, I think I harvested everything. Most of everything. Bought some more onion seeds to replace what had just come in. Said hi to Jeff. He seemed almost relieved to see me. It was a little bit weird. Maybe helping out with that fight between Karen and Sasha sort of softened him to me a bit. I don't know. What I do know is by the time I actually got to going to the shop, I was so tired. And I think I'm going to have to be careful not to overplant next season. And even if I do manage to upgrade my watering can, and at the moment that's looking a bit dicey, I don't know that I'd actually have the energy to do everything, and I've got to find a way to increase my stamina or share out the workload. There's got to be a way to make this easier, right? Anyway, ever since I got the fridge, I've been selling off some of my crops and keeping some for myself, because I'm trying to learn to cook. I watch the recipe channel every Tuesday, and I've learned a few new things. I don't have the equipment to make any of them yet, but I'm trying. I'm working towards it, and it would just be so cool. And it's so frustrating. I've got a kitchen, but I can't cook anything in it. I spent all of last season working myself to the bone so that I could upgrade and get this kitchen. And nobody told me I would then need to go and separately buy every freaking tool I need, and I've managed to get a seasoning rack and a pot so far, but I've got no way to slice and dice things. I've got no way to actually cook things outside of that pot. I don't own an oven. I don't know where to get one. It wasn't on sale with the fridge, so I'm sorry, Journal, I'm rambling again, but it's just so frustrating. It's been my goal for so long, and I am so tired of living on forage and whatever I can find, and the occasional splurge to myself at Kai's shack or at the inn, and I just know, everything would be so much easier if I could make my own food. I'd be able to stop and have lunch when I got tired instead of having to hike all the way up the mountain and soak in the hot springs for a while, which, don't get me wrong, I do love my soaks in the hot springs. They are, at this point, they are probably the high point of my day. It's what I look forward to from the moment I start with the watering can on the crops. There was nothing in any of the ancestors' journals that said don't overplant. In fact, great, you know what, I'm just calling her great aunt Kira said that she overplanted all the time. I don't see anything in here about her complaining about fatigue. She always seemed to have boundless energy, and much like me, she came from an office job. And she'd been living in the city, moved out to the farm, eventually passed it on to Grandfather Caraman, but she mentions the lack of food, she mentions that she had to live on forage, she mentions that she barely even owned any clothes. At least I've got a few changes of outfits. Admittedly, they're just different colours of the same thing, and I haven't worked out how to wash them yet, but at least I've got a few changes there. I've got that up. But maybe I should go through more of the journals. Maybe one of my other great grand relatives had similar issues, and there'd have to be someone, right? It can't just be me. I have learned one trick over the last season and a half, one that I'm actually kind of proud of, I'll be honest. And that is, even if you are clearing a field, harvesting it completely like I did with the onions this morning, still water it. That way you can just throw new seeds down and you don't have to worry about watering it again. It's already done for you. So I'm making a note of that for any future generations. Oh, and I got another one of those weird letters from the goddess about winning a raffle I never entered. I'm getting quite the collection of booze going, and I have no idea what to do with it, and it smells like it would probably kill me if I actually tried to drink it, so might not do that. Might. Not. So, sunny again tomorrow, journal. I'll catch you in the morning. Or the evening. I never write new during the day. Well, sometimes I do. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Night journal. Summer 18, Year 1, Friday. Sunny. It will rain at some point in this season, right, journal? Great Aunt Kira's notes said that she had lots of rain in summer and storms. Maybe I've just gotten lucky with the weather? I really don't know. Another quiet day. I could not handle peopling again, so I mostly potted around the farm and did my chores. The pineapples still aren't ready. I wish that there was something on the packet that would tell me how long it would take for these guys to actually mature and become harvestable. If I'd known that it was going to take the entire freaking season, I may not have planted so many. But with that sort of growth time, does that mean they're potentially going to be more valuable? And they cost me so much. I need to be getting some of this back. I need to be getting some kind of benefit from this, or it's just been so much energy wasted. When I feel up to peopling again, I should go see Juan and see if he has any special super expensive. I really shouldn't pay money for them, but I'm going to anyway because I'm a sucker like that. Seeds for autumn. And if the pineapples turn out well, then maybe his claims of rare seeds for great profit will actually pan out for me. I don't know. I want to find time to head up to the library to see if there's any books on local crop growing or anything like that. I mean, I can't just rely on the ancestors' journals forever. Yes, Great Aunt Kira was here. Yes, Grandfather Caraman was here, and I think insert X number of greats here. There was a Grandfather Eddard, I want to say, who was Kira's cousin. I really lose track of the family lines. But the land and the availability of certain seed products have changed so much over the years, and whilst I take their word under great advisement, I'm more looking at their experiences than, hey, I grew X crop, or I did this thing. and there was stuff. And honestly, sometimes I worry about some of my ancestors. They talk about things that don't seem possible. Like Great Aunt Kira, she apparently befriended some local harvest sprites, and they would come and do her watering for her. I can't find any other references to the existence of harvest sprites. And I know, which is your thinking, Journal. Brenna, on a daily basis you speak to a goddess. You throw a flower in her pond, you say hi, she sends you stuff from raffles that you never entered and occasionally asks you if you like people. But there's proof of the goddess. There's writing, there's whole books, there's a whole church dedicated to her existence. I haven't seen or heard or read anything about harvest sprites except in some of the old family journals. Now, if Great Aunt Kira is right, then they live behind the church. And I'm kind of afraid to go look, but if they could help me, it might solve my overplanting problem and mean that I can get more work done next season. Her notes say she had to befriend them much like she did the villagers, with talking to them and bribing them to love her with gifts, and I'm still really uncomfortable with that. Oh, I did stop in and see that sculptor guy Brandon again today. I threw an apple at him. He apparently quite likes fresh apples, and yeah, I've got the tree there. I may as well share my bounty, right? He looks so distracted. Is that the word? That's probably the word. So I guess I did people a little bit today. And I know that I said that I would start doing gift runs on the regular and speaking to everybody every day, but it's just so much. What was I talking about before that? Oh, that's right, the mythical harvest sprites. Some of the other ancestors do make reference to them, but none of the others have lived here in Mineral Town aside from the ones I've already mentioned, at least that I know of. Do I investigate? And I really want to go to the library and do more research, but after that whole thing with Marie and Gray, I'm kind of embarrassed to go in there because I might end up interrupting something again, and I really don't want to be that person, you know? And I don't really know either of them very well, and it just felt so intrusive. At least the Harvest Goddess didn't ask me any embarrassing questions today, right? And I did spend a little bit of time on the first floor of the mines again, just banging some rocks after spending some time in the hot springs. I've got to back up my silver supplies if I do want to get these upgrades done, and as far as I can tell, I should be able to upgrade my watering can without any issues, and Fates know I've got enough experience using the blasted thing at this point, but it's just a combination of silver and cash that I'm lacking. I think I saw on Mr. Saibara's list that silver was next. It looks like there are a couple of different ways that I can upgrade this, and I don't have the energy to get very far in the mines, even after soaking in the hot springs. I think 3 floors down is the best I've managed. I've got to get it together. I either need to reduce the amount of energy it takes to get my chores done, or I need to learn how to cook something with what I've got. I need to put that kitchen to work for me, otherwise doing all of that was an absolute waste. Forage isn't enough to revive me in the mines. It's barely enough to keep me going to water the crops. What else did I do today? I harvested some grass because I'm planning on buying a cow soon. I want one before the end of summer. That way I'll have extra resources. The idea is to build it up so that I have a reliable source of income over the winter months, because everything I can see says there's nothing I can grow in winter, so I need a way to be making money at that point. They didn't warn me about this. A lot of the journals made references to how hard it could be, but I thought that was adjusting. I thought it was the physical. Anyway, sunny tomorrow, Journal. Big shocker there. I'll catch you then. Night, Journal.